Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jody Sanford, and I have the great privilege of being the Dean of the Evans School of Public Policy and Governance. Today, to celebrate our graduates, we're going to hear from Superintendent Brent Jones as our commencement speaker and from student speakers. But I want to start by offering a few remarks given where we find ourselves as a society. These days, I think we're all seeing very clearly the importance of public policy and governance. From the promotion of vaccines, to the access to national parks, to the accuracy of weather data on our phones, we know that public policy matters. We also are seeing in the importance of governance in how we organize ourselves, in the tensions that we're seeing playing out between the executive office of the president, Congress, courts, and the states. For years, researchers have documented the decreased trust in government and social and civic trust. And now we're seeing what has resulted in the decline. In the last year, I've been thinking about this a lot as the metaphor of our fragile democratic house. In our field of public policy and management, we've been working on this problem for a long time. We're focused on being clear-eyed about describing what has been, what is, as well as thinking about what can be. For example, in the curriculum here, you've learned about evidence-based policymaking and the facts that there is a long and persistent history in this country of racial division and hatred, of ignoring inequities caused by the market, of fueling environmental degradation. Yet you've also learned that in this House, there is an equally persistent effort to renovate and innovate in democracy, to draw upon evidence, to lead, to advance our country's abilities to be just, to be fair, to advance equality. You've learned about public values and come to see that there are tensions between efficiency and effectiveness, tolerance, equity, and fairness. And how we resolve these tensions are fundamental to the democratic process. As some of you know, I was a history major in college, and I found inspiration in the words of Heather Cox Richardson, who's a historian who writes a daily blog. And this is an interesting thing to me because she is a history professor, and she's writing so that a graduate student in 100 years will be able to make sense of these times. So last week, she turned to the 1950s and the political dynamics in this country around the accusations of rampant communism that was being made by Senator Joe McCartney. She quoted a Republican senator at that time, Margaret Chase, who was reflecting on the national conditions 75 years ago, who said, quote, "It's a national feeling of fear and frustration that could result in national suicide and the end of everything that we Americans hold dear." She continued, "Those of us who shout loudest about Americanism are all too frequently those who, by our own words and acts, ignore some of the basic principles of Americanism." Although Senator Smith desperately wanted to replace the Democratic president at the time, Harry Truman, she was also clear, quote, "As an American, I condemn a Republican fascist just as much as I condemn a Democratic communist. They are equally dangerous to you and to me and to our country. As an American, I want to see our nation recapture the strength and unity it once had when we fought the enemy instead of ourselves." A month ago, another Maine senator, Angus King, who's an independent, was reflecting on these words. He said, "I fear that we are at a similar moment in history." Echoing Senator Smith, today's crisis should not be framed as a partisan issue. This is not about Democrats or Republicans or immigration or tax policy or even the next set of elections. Today's crisis threatens the idea of America and the system of government that has sustained us for more than 2 centuries. So using my analogy of a democratic house, We are at a moment in history when the office of the president seems focused on demolishing it. In the last 4.5 months, the president has issued 156 executive orders in an effort to make the American people believe that that office has more authority than it does. Our Constitution clearly establishes the separation of power, the national level between the president, the Congress, and the Supreme Court. And there's important authority that we're seeing play out right now in California between the state and local governments, where many of you are likely going to start your careers. So this house of ours, it's designed for resiliency. However, the design depends on everyday people coming together in different places to address together things we can't do alone. We all need to lean in and focus on creating the plans and implementing the programs for significant renovation in this democracy. I actually think we need to go down to the studs to see where there is structural integrity and where there are fundamental faults. To me, it's about all the things we can do to create civic trust. What happens if we turn to each other and realize there's a better place to work on these issues with each other? And this change of mindset gets real specific real fast. As people with the training that you all have received, how might we build secure and integrated data sets to improve public services rather than enable surveillance? How might we give people an experience of getting their needs met without red tape or demoralizing processes? How might we all disagree better and see that disagreement and the compromises that are required as fundamental to what makes our democratic house stronger? You all are graduating with professional expertise, and yet I hope you have learned here that it's important to take that professional expertise and use it in service as citizen professionals who keep your own identity and experiences central to your calling as a profession. At Evans and at the UW, we're doing this work ourselves, and we're looking at the structure of the democratic house and trying to shore it up. Because cultivating civic health is as much about how we do things as what we do. In any renovation, it's really important to pay attention to things of beauty and try to make them better. Those of you who did a lot of coursework in Parrington Hall, think of those skylights up in those classrooms. Before the renovation, they're about 125 years old. They used to leak a lot. And rather than eliminating those, the faculty and staff decided to deal with the problem, preserve the beauty, and so in our big classrooms, we were able to have that natural light that every time I walk into those rooms makes me feel bigger and better, part of something large. So when I look at the world right now, when we think about the renovation projects, the highest stakes is in the battle of the hearts and minds of you as young people. There's so many things that are encouraging you to feel small, to believe you can't make a difference, that the whole system is rigged. And yet when I talk to you, I see something so different. You have joined this amazing faculty in facilitating discussions in Olympia, in doing capstones that have made a difference. You volunteered at food shelves. You've worked hard to understand complex economic and institutional concepts and learn how to summarize complex things in memos and in engaging presentations. And you've done this work in a public institution of higher education. Like many public institutions, right now we're being attacked by the same forces that are trying to consolidate political power. But I think it is because when we bring people together, like you, and set the conditions for learning, inquiry, and engagement, power is created. So I think we all need to start simple and think about what can we each do to build civic trust. Everybody decides every day, when do you show up? What do you do? How can you serve your community? And laying in, even when we disagree, we have to listen to each other, find out what we have in common, and do so respectfully. The work ahead of all of us are significant. We need to invest in the people who are working in the public square, acknowledging what has worked and what has not worked. We need to retrofit this house by investing in, like you have, in the intellect. We need to make things work for all people. And we need to start practicing doing more things together. Tolerance of difference, it is what has always allowed us to thrive as a country. So, although it's far from perfect, our multiracial, multi-ethnic democracy has been a beacon to the world. There's a long, nonpartisan, historical tradition of people committed to making this democratic house stronger. So I will just conclude by saying, my best friend gave me a quote last week that I wanted to share from a colleagues of hers at UNC. She said, "If you're wringing your hands, you can't roll up your sleeves at this moment." So I hope you leave this celebration realizing that all of us associated with the Evans School have our sleeves rolled up. To create the democracy we need, rather than what we've had, we need to work on this renovation together. So it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the Superintendent of the Seattle Public Schools, Brent Jones.
Good afternoon, esteemed graduates, faculty, friends, and Dean Sanford. It's an incredible honor to stand before you today as the Superintendent of Seattle Public Schools. And to the graduates of the University of Washington Evans School of Public Policy and Governance, congratulations on reaching this monumental milestone. You have devoted years of rigorous study, critical thinking, and relentless pursuit of knowledge to prepare for a life in public service. Today, I'm here to remind you this is the time where you're needed most. Governance is critical right now. How we shape policy that drives our actions is of the utmost importance. Our nation's government and democracy is relatively young, and we find ourselves in another pivotal period defined by upheaval and a massive amount of change. Some of you, as Dean Sanford mentioned, may feel disheartened about the shifting landscape of our nation. But remember, you are uniquely qualified and positioned specifically for this moment. You are ready. You have studied not merely to understand, but to improve it through policy and sound governance. You've chosen an admirable path of public service, not for personal gain, but for the greater good. You've dedicated your career to driving change in public entities, embracing principles of engagement, transparency, accountability, and equity. Now, managing this change isn't just a skill that you've learned, it's the very essence of your purpose. And in spite of these challenges, you will face bureaucratic inertia, political headwinds, public scrutiny, yet I claim that you will be transcendent. As you strategize, identify what you aim to fix. Know what you want to sustain that is good, and be opportunist in inciting innovation. If you're making an impact, then you will be disrupting business as usual. However, you will be tasked with replacing that disruption with something better. While you're putting your brilliance in motion, surround yourself with those who share your values, who will stand with you when the road gets rough. Service, like you are about to encounter, demands your political acumen to be sharp. Politics is indeed a contact sport. Get into those politics and mix it up. Don't sit on the sidelines. Use your style, but be impactful. Know your strategy. Now, my strategy, I'm glad that you asked, I'm a sweet radical. That was funny, by the way. So decide what your style is, maintain your political acumen that's unmatched, unparalleled, and that you have a desire to have a bias for action. Now, you know if you're truly making change, you must expect resistance. More change, more resistance. Bureaucracy adapts to preserve the status quo. Systems are designed to sustain themselves. So you must cultivate your own care plan so that you can remain in the game. Now, I speak from experience. I've felt exhausted, beaten down, overwhelmed, and in my role as superintendent, I faced some harsh realities of leadership. COVID, strikes, violence, chronic underfunding, systemic racism, and the weight of mass privilege and entitlement. I've navigated an often unfriendly media climate, unreasonable demands, unfunded mandate, and sometimes very little gratitude. Yet, I stand before you because I believe in the power of purpose with an unwavering commitment to making systemic change. It is what has sustained me through every trial and tribulation. And in spite of all that, I brought stabilization to Seattle Public Schools. In these times, we've been able to secure 3 levies, balance budgets with $100 million deficits, bring forward a new governance structure, increase academic gains, improving school climate, and diversified our principal corps. And we've also maintained labor peace. These are no small tasks. I've taken it as far as I can. I'm passing the baton off to another powerful leader who will come before you, and hopefully you all will join in this endeavor as well. Now, you too must know your why. You must be purpose-driven. Be relentless and disciplined in your pursuit of good governance and the mission, and anchor yourself to it. Now, I'm here to also tell you, we have enough analysts, critics, and social media influencers. We're done with that. Now we need doers, evangelists, implementers, and those committed to transforming systems that are made up of people, politics, policies, and processes. Now, communication is your currency. When I was a young man growing up in Seattle, we would go to Spokane every once in a while, and we'd sit in the Calvary Baptist Church, and we'd have the older men in the back of the church yell out to the pastor, "Make it plain." And I thought they were aggressive. I thought they were upset with the preacher. No, they just wanted to make sure it was clear. So what I'm saying to you, use the available tools. We're not here to be passive participants, but relentless drivers. In doing so, you must be clear in your communication of your why and what we're trying to do together. Be a master of technology, social media, AI, and embrace it, and turn these moments into momentum, and turn this momentum into a movement. As your standard operating procedure and good governance, design for those who are on the margins first. Put the resources where needs are greatest. Your charge is clear: improve the system. You're not walking this path for the paycheck. You're walking this because this mission is admirable and necessary. You've taken a mighty oath to service. This state, this nation, and this world is waiting for your leadership. And you're not starting from scratch. You are joining a community of Evans School alums who are making an impact across this globe. You walk in the footsteps of trailblazers like Governor Dan Evans, whose legacy lives on in the name of this school, but in a career defined by integrity, bipartisanships, and results-oriented leadership. Toshiko Hasegawa, who's the Executive Director of Washington's Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs and now a Port of Seattle Commissioner. Marty Koistra, Executive Director of the Housing Development Consortium, championing affordable housing across King County. Lynn Varner, CEO of Washington STEM and former associate editor of the Seattle Times. She's lifting voices and advancing STEM equity statewide. And Alejandro Sanchez, now Vice President of Policy and Engagement at Forterra, leading environmental and economic sustainability initiatives. These leaders, and now you, represent the values that this school holds dearly: equity, courage, impact, service, and integrity. These are not abstract ideals, they are operating principles. They show up when you fight for inclusive budgets. They show up when you challenge unjust policies. They show up when you tell the truth in rooms where it's not easy to speak. They show up when you design systems not for, but with communities. They show up in targeted universalism. Now look around at your fellow graduates. Some of you already lead national policy research projects, advise city councils, worked in tribal governance, advocated for climate justice, and supported pandemic relief efforts. You have done this while balancing families, jobs, and personal sacrifice. And I'm also here to tell you that you are ready. This is not just academic preparation, it's a lived commitment, it's grit, it's vision. So as you step forward in this next chapter, honor the legacy of those who have come before you. Reflect on the shared mission, vision, and values of this school. Those of you who have earned your master's in public administration, executive MPA, or PhD in public policy and management, this is your time. And while we're here today to celebrate that accomplishment, don't forget that leadership is not a destination. It is a decision made again and again in meetings, in protest, in policy, in silence, and in speech. So take what you've learned about systems thinking, participatory governance, community-based research, fiscal analysis, change theory, and turn it into practice. Not someday, today. And as I close, I encourage you to stay connected to each other. Support one another. This is your cohort. The work is long, it is hard, and it's worth doing together. Congratulations, Evans School, class of 2025. Go forth boldly with purpose and passion. You are needed. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dean Sanford, Dr. Jones, members of the faculty, staff, family, and friends for joining us today in celebration of the Evans School classes of 2025. My name is Isaac Cederbaum, although you're all welcome to call me Izzy, and it is an immense honor and pleasure to serve as this year's PhD speaker. 11 years ago, I sat where you are all sitting now as a newly minted MPA. I am a double dog, as it were. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew that I had fallen in love with research and was committed to public service. I had found a community of friends and mentors that I knew would be a support system I could call on, regardless of where I went or what I did. Now, over a decade later, I want to share with you, my fellow graduates, 4 things that I would tell my younger self and that I continue to carry with me into the next chapter of my life as a PhD. 1, remain curious. Curiosity can combat becoming jaded. Regardless of whether you become a researcher, an executive director, work in government, or embark into the private sector, remaining curious has helped me combat burnout when the work has been hard. Remaining curious has pushed me to ask questions of the data I work with and the stakeholders I work for. It has pushed me to continuously learn new skills and is ultimately what brought me back to Evans to earn my PhD. Curiosity will not make the problems themselves easier, but will increase the longevity of your drive to combat them. 2, and you might not like this, imposter syndrome will follow you. It does not matter how many letters you have after your name. At this point, I have 8, 10 if you count a BA, and yet there are days when I worry that I don't know what I am doing, or that I don't deserve to be where I am. But then I remind myself, remember that your skills and experiences have brought you to where you are. Your work has prepared you for this moment. Believe in your abilities, but also remember that you will be forever constantly learning new things. See point number 1. 3, community matters more than nearly everything else. At this point of rising fascism and distrust in institutions, community is what uplifts us and takes care of us. We are not alone in our commitment to public service, the greater good, and to each other. None of us could have come this far without the support of others, whether it's chosen family, blood relatives, friends, or mentors. In this time of what feels like historical upheaval, I am comforted by the common refrain from activists from ACT UP, the anti-AIDS coalition active continuously since the 1980s. We are all we've got, and we are all we need. And finally, 4, the work is hard, but there is always hope. Hope is the antidote to nihilism. I have been a researcher and evaluator for over a decade. I have been inside prisons and jails across this country and seen children as young as 9 incarcerated. Some days, it feels like every problem is unsolvable, and the work has no end. And yet, the thing that keeps me going is that there is always the possibility of a better future, and the only way we can ever hope to get there is with each other. As we embark into the next chapter of our lives and careers, I leave you with this quote, which I turn to nearly daily. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. Thank you, everyone, and congrats to the class of 2025.
I love that my cohort is sitting right in front of me. No pressure, guys. Okay. Good afternoon, graduates, faculty, family, and friends. It is an honor to stand before all of you today on behalf of a group of individuals who have become like family to me, Cohort 21. I was like, guys, are you sure you want me to do this? If you ask anyone who knows me, I'm a girl who has a lot to say all the time. The best advice I got on how to deliver a great graduation speech is to keep it short, so I will try my best. The Evans School EMPA program challenges career individuals like myself to find our identities and explore the roles we play as leaders. Our leadership journey is composed of 3 elements: a story of self, a story of us, and a story of now. So who am I, you might ask? My name is Megan Utume, and I am Palauan. I was born and raised on both Guam and Palau. For those of you who aren't familiar with Palau, Palauan culture embodies family, generosity, humility, and selflessness. These cultural values are my foundation. Alongside my cohort, we embarked on a journey of self-discovery and built on our foundational values together. For over 8 years, I've had the honor and privilege of working for United States Senator Patty Murray. Through my work, I witness and hear the stories of fear and heartbreak by those harmed by this administration. Using the course readings and tools of the EMPA program, I brought these stories and issues to class and discussed them with my cohort. I learned so much about myself, and I learned so much about them. We learned in what is called gracious space, which is giving each other the room to learn without fear of judgment. Individually, we brought our experiences to class discussions. I was amongst overachievers who questioned everything all the time. They are brilliant, compassionate, and man, they are funny. They are not afraid to correct me when I'm wrong. Together, we grieve the loss of loved ones who aren't here with us today, and we were reminded of the fragility of life and the importance of living. We supported each other through career changes, a newborn baby, moving houses, and just life stuff. Together, we agonized over work, life, and school balance, but found joy in being together in class. After years in our careers, we were re-gifted with the joy of learning. The program is over, so now what? What does all of this mean in a country that pushes against all the things we've learned? In a country that tells a woman and so many others that being diverse is un-American? I want to leave everyone here with 3 things. Number 1, keep telling your story. The administration doesn't understand that cutting federal funding for programs like Medicaid and SNAP means cutting more than just dollars and cents. For working families, it could mean choosing between paying for your medication or groceries to feed your kids. The Evans School empowers us with the tools to bring humanizing and storytelling back into policymaking. After today, you now have the skills to advocate for diversity. Banning the words DEI doesn't change that community is diverse. It is who we are as people. Banning the words doesn't get rid of the people that we serve. The system can only be efficient if it is equitable, no matter how many times they try to tell us that there isn't enough to go around. Number 2, the value of public service is staying in it, because that is where the change happens. Whether you are directly involved in the policymaking process or serving communities at the front lines, you play a part and you have a voice. Collectively, we can influence policies that truly meet the needs of the people they are meant to serve. Policies that give people a real chance instead of ones that trap them in cycles of poverty and despair. This is where the rubber meets the road, where the real work begins. It's where public servants like us continue our work and have hope, because hope and fear cannot both exist. So choose hope and stay. And lastly, find joy. In a world full of chaos and hatred, find joy in both the big and small things, whether it is spending time with your family or the funny cat videos on TikTok. In order to show up and serve others, we must first take care of ourselves. It is going to be a long ride, and finding joy is going to get us through it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josie Jackson, and I've had the privilege of serving as the Evans School Organization's Vice President of Students, and I am honored to have been voted by my classmates to speak today. I want to thank Dean Sanford and all of the Evans School faculty and staff who made today, as well as the past 2 years, possible for all of us. Today is the last time that this version of our community will be together. So when I was thinking about today, I was thinking about my first time in a room with the Evans community 2 years ago at Incoming Students Day. Dean Jody opened the day with congratulating us on our accomplishments. She told us that we were joining the educated elite, that less than 15% of people in the United States have the opportunity to earn a master's degree. That day, she challenged us to consider what it really means for us to have this degree and how it will influence our thoughts, opinions, and privilege. I, like many of us, had heard that getting an EMPA would give us a policy toolkit, but frankly, I had questions. Or should I say preferences of what I wanted put in that toolkit? Like many of my cohort, I entered with questions like, how do we solve our country's housing problem? Or how do we stop climate change? But if I'm being completely honest, my heart wanted answers to bigger questions. How do we make Democrats and Republicans be kind to each other and work together? How do I explain to society that having an anti-racist society is no longer an option? Now, yes, I knew that none of these answers were going to be given to me in a list on the back of my degree. But part of me did question that if somehow all the people in Parrington, with all their education, wouldn't be able to at least hint at a few answers. I'll be honest with you, that list never came. Standing here today as a graduate, I can't tell you how to give everyone the housing they deserve or save the planet. And with the current political climate, I definitely don't have the answer to how to make people work across the aisle. But 2 years later, I do, however, have some idea of what it means for us to be part of that less than 15% of Americans with a master's degree. You see, I can't tell you how to solve the problems that our generation faces or how to solve the problems that our children will face. But what I can say is that we as a cohort, a community, and a profession of public servants have to show up. And I don't mean just physically showing up in spaces. I mean that we have to look at the world we are living in today, and we have to be the ones to do the inconvenient things. to do the hard, thankless work, and to say the things that people don't want to hear. I get it. We love to write strongly worded emails and op-eds. I've written plenty. We all love to do the work with people who agree with us, and there is powerful and meaningful work to be done there. All of which is vital to us finding our way out of where we are today. But I also want to challenge our cohort to understand that there's also other work to be done. A lot of people can be loud in a room with people who agree with them. It's harder to sit in a room with people who disagree with you and still treat them with respect when you're not being respected. It's harder to find a way to connect with people on the other side of the political spectrum. It's harder to ask someone you disagree with what you can work together on and what progress you can make together. So when I think back to what it means to be part of the 15%, I would say that today, because of our privilege and education, we have far fewer excuses for not doing the hard parts. You have to find a way to take up space in places where you're uncomfortable. We have to find a way to sit in boardrooms and appointment committees and chambers. We have to enter those spaces with a mindset for collaboration, compromise, and mutual growth, while also taking up space in our identities and our values. I don't need to tell the people in this room that our field is currently in crisis. You already know that. But what I know is that the people in our cohort believe in adding light to the world. No matter what happens out there, how you treat people will always matter. How you show up will always matter. And taking the time to learn how to advocate and build strong and diverse communities will always matter. With that, I want to say a thank you to those who showed up for us over the past 2 or more years. We may be public servants, but we would not be here today without each and every one of you who cared and loved for us, from our communities, our mentors, our partners, our friends, and more. To my mom, who for all intents and purposes was a single mom who gave up everything for me to be here today. That degree has my name on it, but any stage I'm on, you will be with me. I couldn't have done any of this without my best friends, my mentors who are here today, Sarah Perry and Victoria Hunt, and the family I have with me here today as well. I've considered it a great privilege to be able to call this community and city my home. I know each one of you will rise to the occasion and take all of your experiences and all of your values and all the parts that make you who you are these past 2 years and create more light for others and community. Thank you, and congratulations, cohort of 2025.
Thank you, Izzy, Megan, and Josie, for your thoughtful remarks on behalf of your fellow graduates. My name is Erica Barnhart, and I'm an associate teaching professor here at the Evans School. I'm the EMPA program director and the instructional lead for the student consulting lab that oversees the MPA capstone experience. On behalf of the Evans School faculty, it is my pleasure to present awards to graduates who have excelled in their Evans School academic and leadership activities. I'm going to present 7 awards in all, 6 capstone awards, and then the award for exceptional EMPA student. When I read the awardee name or names for a team-based award, I'll ask the recipients to stand. Awardees, you can pick up your awards after the ceremony from student affairs staff at the accessibility table on the concourse. So as part of their final course in the EMPA program, students develop a capstone portfolio that demonstrates their leadership development over the course of the program and application of program content into their professional experience. In a time replete with examples of valuing volume and efficiency over evidence and effectiveness, this year's award goes to a graduate whose capstone elevated the benefits and importance of quiet, intentional leadership, Osta Davis. Congratulations, Osta, on winning this year's EMPA Capstone Award. For the MPA program, our Capstone Awards recognize graduates whose final capstone project was found to be exceptional, exemplifying clear problem definition, excellent methodology, the incorporation of diverse perspectives, and recommendations for feasible and innovative solutions to the challenge identified by their clients. First, I want to thank the faculty who supervised and nominated Capstone this year. Akhtar Badshah, Ann Bostrom, Sarah Levin, Matt Stewart-Waltz, and Kevin Werner. Thank you. Now for the awards. Please stand as I call your names and then be seated when I move to the next prize. The Environmental Policy and Management Research Prize goes to Nezia Nezevran, Jamie Gortmaker, Natalie Mendoza-Posada, and Celeste Rye. Their project was supervised by Matt Stewart-Waltz and was on Washington Clean Fuel Standard, benefit cost analysis, and methodologies for a multi-year study. Congratulations, Nezzy, Jamie, Natalie, and Celeste. The Social Policy Research Prize goes to Claire Gracia, Helen Head, and Ian Kaddish. Their project was supervised by Sarah Levin and was on delaying school time starts. Congratulations, Claire, Helen, and Ian. The Nonprofit Management Research Prize goes to Esther Yang Duquez, Katie Lee, Lauren Egan, and Thierry Lino. Their project was supervised by Akhtar Badshah. It was on Beyond Funding, leveraging collaboration and partnerships for the City of Kent and our local community-based organizations. Congratulations, Esther, Katie, Lauren, and Thierry. The Justice and Diversity Prize goes to Joaquin Bosch, Jeff Gunn, Jakey Lenzona, Cassandra Pascal, and Katie Simmons. Their project was supervised by Ann Bostrom and was on addressing racially disparate impacts, exclusion, and displacement in the Puget Sound region. Congratulations, Joaquin, Jeff, Jackie, Cassandra, and Katie. The Policy and Governance Research Prize goes to Melanie Mazza, Peter Quinton, Megan Sarver, and Hazel Wilburn. Their project was supervised by Kevin Werner and was on exploring transportation demand management strategies to reduce driving trips to Seattle schools. Congratulations, Melanie, Peter, Megan, and Hazel. Our final award is the EMPA Exceptional Student Award. This award goes to a student who, throughout the course of the program, built an outstanding track record in terms of both scholarship and leadership. Now, when you're trying to create a track record of any kind, inevitably, you're going to face some resistance, some adversity. The thing with adversity is it doesn't ask permission. Whether it's a medical emergency, an unexpected work transition, or losing someone you love, it just shows up. And adversity doesn't always come with a lesson or a silver lining. But whether you take it or not, it does always come with the opportunity for growth. Now, adversity came along a lot for Cohort 21. It came in every shape and size, am I right? Yes. And what was striking about the recipient of this year's award is that every single time adversity showed up, they took that opportunity for growth and they integrated it into who they wanted to be as a person and as a leader. Cohort 21. Given the nature of what you faced and the outstanding track record that you nonetheless built, the committee unanimously decided that this year's award will go to all students in the EMPA graduating class of 2025. To a person and as a cohort, you are truly exceptional. Congratulations to all the award winners. It is now my pleasure to welcome Professor Heather Hill and Associate Professor Karen Martin to begin the presentation of the graduates. Thank you.
Good afternoon. That is a very difficult act to follow. I am Professor Heather Hill, and I am the PhD Program Director at the Evans School. It's my honor to commence the presentation of our class of 2025 graduates. We will begin today by presenting our PhD in Policy and Management graduates. First, Thomas Lindman. Tom's dissertation is titled Investing in Well-Being, 3 Studies on Public Benefits, Family Processes, and Mental Health in the U.S. I was honored to serve as Tom's dissertation chair. His work is important because he bridges economic theory and methods with an understanding of family and child well-being. Tom will start a postdoctoral research position at Harvard University in September.
Hi, I'm Karen Martin, and I'm very honored to present to Isaac Cederbaum, who has written a dissertation called The Cost of Being Trans, Administrative Burden, Citizen-State Interaction, and Transgender People in the U.S. I was honored to be Izzy's dissertation chair. His work is incredibly important. It's on administrative burden and trans people, and he has produced new and timely information relevant to both policy theory and an important part of our community. Izzy is currently serving as a postdoc at the University of California at Berkeley.
Hi again. Erica Barnhart. Now I get the privilege of presenting, what do I call these? Certificates to the EMP graduates of 2025. Megan Udeme. Janice Evans. Tess Sebastian. Ryan Lopez. Adrian Jones. Monterey Thompson. Jacqueline Oaksford. Sean Cantanese. Stephen Wamskans. Sanait Tunahan. Matthew Garrett. Osta Davis. Mike Bell. Troy Sarad. Salah Salarakan. Natasha Riveron. Congratulations to the EMP graduating class of 2025.
Good afternoon. My name is Crystal Hall. I'm the Faculty Program Director for the Masters of Public Administration program. And with my colleague, Allison Cullen, I'm privileged to announce the MPA graduates. Josie Jackson. Megan Burry. Cameron Yonan. Ethan Clark. David Draper. Ayman Al-Sadar. Ahana Reina. Claire Gracia. Helen Head. Zeta Green. Xavier Aheto. Gabrielle Hunstock. Yahya Abdelwahed. Simon Park. Abdullah Al-Shraim. Selena Salongo. Mara Bloom.
Sumaran Pudel. Damian Morden Snipper. Ben Brown. Colin Carlson. Parker Linus. Matthew Jackson. Olivia Sutton. Rachel Luther. Graham Horlander. Deepa Anant. Amina Jabeji Aiden. Diliara Begalakizi. Joaquin Bosch.
Nezi Enes Evren. Celeste Rai. Jamie Gortmaker. Natalie Mendoza Posada. Lauren Egan. Olivia Ruska. Madison Ingleby. Mengyuan Liu. Zhang Tian. Xingchao Zhai. Donovan Saunders. Rachel Dialio. Caitlin Hurwit. Madeline Alegria. Hazel Wilburn. Megan Sarver. Peter Quinton. Lynn Siebert. Joshua Wagner. Gia Lu Luo. Chrissy Sway. Yiming Wu. Kayleen Castaño. Jamia Zarzuela.
Denise Marsden. Gauran Soon. La Joshi. Liu Wenka. Lei Pui Ying. Feifei Liu. Ru Chen Yu. Ji Chuen Zhu. Nicholas Bradbury. Maury Harbick. Rebecca Fondon. Giovanna Arespi. need my glasses. Shalia Jervis. Elizabeth Palacios. Jamie Rodriguez. Lalitha Pamadigantuan. Parker Dean. Ellie Green. Stacy Brayman.
Melanie Maza. Asma Ahmed. Riley Hayfitz. Mackenzie Boyle. Christopher Brathwaite. Katie Lee. Jakey Lanzona. Esther Yang Duquez. Buzamal Smith. Maria Sennett. Mackenzie Crampton. Katie Simmons. Thierry Lino. Vanessa Lamb. Sarah Hanneman. Cassandra Pascal. Natalie Ruxdashel. Mikhail Lemke. Rachel Gans. Juliet Rollins. Congratulations.
So it is my great pleasure to present to you all the Evans School Class of 2025.